Post ideas that you tried and failed at or never attempted due to lack of funding, lack of knowledge, time, etc. A VPN you pay for with XMR with no subscription, you pay per hour/day/whatever. Was planning to have some way of proving that IP addresses aren't stored, except as hashes, involving blockchain, but I found out there are already blockchain-based VPNs. Charging for blowies. I was building up a pro bono portfolio, and then before I could monetize I had fully mentally converted to Sissy CAC Lamprey and found myself incapable of seeing D for free. I'm also a big Chainlink holder. Conglomerate that specializes in built-to-last goods. Like kitchen appliances that'll last a lifetime or pants that won't go threadbare in 6 months. A porn production company called BNB Peak, with the hook being that it would be videos of couples unknowingly caught having sex on secret video cameras in Airbnbs and stuff like that. I feel like there would be a pretty big market for this, but I'm not really sure how pornography is monetized anymore except through OnlyFans, and it would take enough coordination to pull off that I don't want to go through with it without at least an idea of how it would be monetized. Not a business but a tax system where young people don't pay taxes, gradually increasing starting at 30. I used a 3D printer to print small bongs. I sold a few of them and people really liked them because they were cheap and for some reason got you way higher than a glass bong. Then I learned about microplastics and I didn't really want to embed superheated plastic into people's lungs, so I never made it a full business. Monetize Lateral 802.11 data streams as a cloud mesh network which allowed profit-defined self-directed packet pathways to maximize trunk network connectivity and minimize cellular network demand in areas with high Wi-Fi coverage. Each CX would set their own /by cell parameters and then basically trade their home Wi-Fi to others for similar access. Your router would become a virtual marketplace/appliance. You would also be able to have a cash register function for people to trade you something as an IOU for future connectivity. Right now we have massive hardline backbones which could enable 5G plus speeds everywhere, but there's no mechanism to correctly allocate access because zero end users are empowered with a profit motive to do so. It was my $1 trillion idea. E-commerce, lack of funding to run ads and buy stock. Trying to do YouTube automation now. Laundromat, startup costs. Beekeeping/honey sales, insufficient knowledge plus I'm allergic. OnlyFans, I'm a guy. Porn website, no money in it unless you sell user data, and reputable advertisers are impossible to find, so no ad revenue. I'm down to just a few options. Electronics recycling/gold recovery. This one is almost impossible to turn profitable beyond maybe 2 to 4% without a large-scale operation with a procurement system. Pimping, LOL. Residential/commercial cleaning, think power washing, junk/waste removal and maybe landscaping. Nacho warmer. Cosplay store that worked with some of the people responsible for the costumes in the movies themselves. But not just stuff like superheroes, also more realistic movie or series like Oh Dress Like Don Draper or Driv Guy. It wouldn't be limited to just things that they used in the movies, it'd also be wardrobe suggestions based off of these movies where stylists could work together to try and imagine what each character would dress like, influenced by what they already wore in the movies. But then it would be limited by the amount of characters people care enough about to want to dress like. Plantiques, plants inside of antique vessels. I would thrift old pottery, water jugs, buckets, literally any old vessel that I could get for $1 and put a plant in it. Sell the plants to hipsters for 5 to 10x the cost of materials as upcycled. LiDAR real estate for virtual walkthroughs. Basically automated by a big company that already does this. God knows the list is too long for me. One was an app to help friends find times to hang out despite busy schedules. Inventing some writing tools. Amazon FBA, Shopify dropshipping, freelance web design/UX design. Freelance graphic design plus logos. Game design. Selling 3D printed items. It's really hard for me being a one-man army. I have a lot of health problems, so a partner in crime or a small team would help so much. Despite the idea of working for someone else. I really want to make it brothers. Bluetooth luggage that follows you around without having to carry it. AI service that takes customer-provided photos, texts, voicemails, etc. of a specific person and uses a combination of AI technologies to provide video calls with something that looks, sounds, and speaks like that person. The business model would be a pay-by-the-minute service with the expectation that people would use it to talk to their dead loved ones. The technology isn't quite there yet, but it will be in a year or two. Decided it was too evil to go through with, but someone else will do it sooner or later. I fully expect to see news articles about boomers who lost tens of thousands of dollars by spending all day talking to their dead husbands/wives. Real doll brothel. What is it with incels and overly technologically complex or embarrassingly depraved business ideas? Opening PC cafes in poor areas in the US near congregation/shopping centers that already cater to the lower or lower middle classes. Heck in GameStop. Vending machine that sells alcohol. I thought running a steakhouse in India would be a good idea, there would be no competition, but then I remembered how I didn't want to deal with poos. About 10 to 12 years ago I had the idea for a relatively simple website that would list all of your social media accounts on one page. Basically Linktree before Linktree. I would have liked to pursue the idea since it seems straightforward compared to bona fide social media or e-commerce sites, but I had zero technical skills and was busy with school. An NFT that shows off how much the tokens in your wallet are worth. NFTs are all about showing wealthy, why not have one that updates itself according to your wallet value? Does anyone wake up in the middle of the night with genius business ideas but then forget them shortly after, or what you wrote down post waking up is just nonsense? Movie Buddy, an app where you pick a showing and location and it matches you with a buddy that you can go see a movie with. Feel free to take this idea, I'm not gonna do anything with it. I was watching the $1 Million Comeback series on YouTube, and one of the business this guy made that for him a few $100,000 was just buying coffee in bulk from distributors. He would label it as his own and market it and sell online. I considered going to the local African cafes in Y City who have connections to import fresh bulk coffee from like Rwanda and selling it online like this guy did. Atomic Abortions Insurance Agency, International Travel Abortion Insurance, started it up, wrote company marketing, operations material, failed to secure enough funding to get it off the ground. Herblutions, your herb solution outfitter. Made about $180K off it during the herbal incense hype. PayPal ended up banning me for life on their crappy service, screw Elon Musk, and I had to shut down. World Injury Nexus, started it up to complete with WebMD as a kind of decentralized global clinical forum, but didn't realize that doctors really don't give a heck about helping people for free. They do it to get paid. Website failed. Toast.me, the other search engine.me. Failed for obvious reasons, never compete with Google. Die for a message, lawyer told me never to launch it. It was supposed to be a kind of AdSense revenue-generated website to where people who intended fully on killing themselves, doctor-assisted suicide advocacy, would have the opportunity to forever have your last words hosted to the world, and the users would upload their final messages, video, text, images, and site Jannies would pin their obituaries/news articles to their deaths. Lawyer told me I'd do prison time if I launched it. Handful of crypto startups and a failed wine import/export business I spent a year in Argentina business networking to start. Failed to secure $220K in capital to get it off the ground. Now the only thing I do is buy just one specific crypto that is barely in the top 200. Tried crappy dropshipping only because that's when I first heard about it. Thought I was doing ads wrong and crap, but realized the business model was crappy. Why go to a dingy website when there's Amazon? Amazon accept only goods made in the US from raw materials, also only made in the US. A restaurant that only serves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't know why someone hasn't made a RuneScape blockchain. Create a limited supply of resources, for example log token supply 71 trillion. As each time is used in say a potion, the token is burnt and available for placement on any node throughout the game. This created a supply and demand market, supply goes up as consumables are consumed. This can be expanded greatly. Then instead of a $20 a month membership you just apply to play with your own node. Embrace the gold farmer by enabling them to allow players to rent out nodes. Hopefully the rental exchange is more valuable than farming wood and selling it. There might be some concerns over monopolies, but the entire game would have burn mechanisms throughout. I would even put an interest rate on bank deposits over 1% of total supply, starting at 0.001% loss a day and going to 0.1% loss per day if you have the maximum 49% supply of total wood. Things like that. The market would probably have a 10% fee too. But it could work. The game just needs to be fun and really focus on benefiting the player through consumables to trigger the economic cycle of production. You'd have to prune the blockchain yearly to hold a lot of data, but it's not so important for a game to have the entire history on every node. Leaderboard systems could benefit from this also. If someone wants to front the capital, I'm happy to design and program the whole thing, but I need servers to test with to make sure it works on launch, and I need artists so it doesn't take me 5 years to do everything myself. Oh, and lastly, I need to learn how to set up multiplayer, which is like the last thing I need to learn. Anyway, it'll never happen for me, so good luck if anyone steals it. I had an idea for 3D jewelry NFT brand. I'd use Grasshopper in Rhino to create an algorithmic shape and then use that to design the final piece. The only problem was that I wanted to do a 360 visualization and each frame had to be rendered individually because my computer isn't too powerful and each render took about 20 minutes. I almost completed the first one, but then the crypto market crashed and I decided to focus on other things. I might pick it up and finish it, then try and pitch the concept to some NFT-based crypto projects. Definitely could be a winner but needs backing, and to be honest, I don't even know if NFTs still make any money.